when you talk about the new features like vectors, I also see a lot of the Chinese companies, database companies, were seeing the importance of vectors, and they are have been spending their resources and time bringing vector technologies into their databases, and now they're marketing that they have vectors. So nowadays, if you look at the vector-enabled databases in China, they're a mess again.
Yeah, but they're not 260.
They're what?
That's not 260. It's probably
maybe 100, maybe 50.
I would guess 20, but 20 to 50. That sounds reasonable. Yes, but still, that's a long, big effort. And most of the customers who actually are paying for database will not need vector. Vector is still an edge thing for databases. Most of that you store in transactions, you store memories, you store even pictures, not videos. But vector is kind of a better search. And not everybody needs a better search. A bank for handling transactions will not need a better search.
Of course, just like not everybody needs AIGC.
No.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is I don't know. This is kind of unique in China because on technology front, China has not been the leading role in the innovation, but they're quite successful being the second tier, and you're copying the first wave and then turn around and selling it on China market. So that's why you see a lot of companies are putting the AI or AIGC label on their database. That's how the vector story coming along.
Yeah, and we don't know how vector is going ourselves. We added a bare minimum. That's still better than most of the competition. And now we will let the users and other parties decide. But what we have done differently is we have checked with other vendors of vector, and also trying to ensure that we're going to get the same exact SQL syntax with others. We are trying to help coordinating things with others, so that we don't get like having a car where everybody has different ways to steer the car, which is horrible. So we are trying to do everything with a standard. AI doesn't have a standard, but we are part of creating that. And I don't see that even that kind of simple involvement here.
Exactly. I think this is did you see anywhere else in the world that's like China market? Like people are trying to I've seen a word called mini innovation. They don't see, we don't see a lot of the big innovation like what's happening in the US, like internet, like mobile internet, like Bitcoin, the AI revolution, like that, right? But in China, a lot of companies tend to do what they call either mini innovation or micro innovation. They took what's happening in the US and they apply to the China market, and they apply to the local customers' needs and build an application on top of that, right? And they still call it innovation, which I tend to agree, but is innovation on the different layers.
Yeah, but looking back in history, I would say that 15, 20 years ago, people said that Chinese is really good at copying things. But now looking at the news, what happens in the electric car industry, especially the batteries, with quantum computers, with energy, fusion energy, China is there by the top. And, and if you read the news, they're even before the top. But on the other hand, that would depend on which news you read. but at least it's not more that you are just following. You are instead you're more embracing and taking over and doing it better.
Mm-hmm.
And you had both the technology and the manpower and the knowledge to do it better. And that's I would say that's because that in US you have the same mentality that I mentioned with databases. In the other industries, that you have great car makers, but that doesn't work with other car makers. They are all small, isolated island for doing things, even with chips and everything else. While in China, you have more coordination, and the state is involved and saying that we need to do that. We need to create a 20-year project of creating the best computer.
All right.
You don't have to see that anywhere else.
That's right.
And I think that's is driving China to do better. And if we in the West don't copy, we will be after.
Well, but
in some sense,
yeah. But I think I used to work for Huawei on their databases,
yeah.
And there was a so-called not necessarily a slogan, but is a mutual kind of a common understanding within Huawei that we were not good at leading things, but we're really good at following things, right? So what they called no man's zone, right? They hate, even when they are starting to lead in the telecommunication industry, but they fear that they don't have the strength or the specialty to lead the industry going next step. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of giving Ericsson or Nokia some business, and they fear to defeat them totally on the market, so that they don't have a company leading them towards the direction maybe they should go, right? So I mean, leading role and the following role are so different. Just like in cycling, right? The leader and the pelotons are so different, right? Yeah. Everybody trying to hide in the peloton and save some energy. Yeah. And once you go, to the leading role, then that's really hard. Yeah,
but still, I'm just saying that we don't put enough money to really be leaders anymore, either in US or in Europe. We have some companies doing excellent, but if they could just concentrate and do it together, we could do so much more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because we are constrained by money. Yeah. Some companies in here is less constrained by money than we are. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So you're actually quite bullish on China's system in terms of catching up and micro innovation and that.
Bullish in the sense that I see it working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything has good and bad consequences, but we're just looking at the market.
Right.
I think that we need to do the same, and that means that in some cases I give you the Chinese market or the strategy some good points.
Yeah, it's a strategy that works in the local market, and especially given the current status of what the economy and the technology advancements are. Yeah. But do you see anywhere else that's in terms of competition that's so fierce as in China?
We have competition also within Europe. All the countries are in heavy competition for doing things.
In terms of database?
Not in database, but other things. We don't have that many databases. When I started doing my database, actually adding SQL to my old database in '95, all my friends said that you are crazy. There's no need for another database. There's not room for another database.
Right.
We already have a Oracle Sybase and SQL Server. Why would anybody need something else?
Right.
But I was stubborn and also wanted to do it open source, which I didn't know that other one didn't do. So I thought that I do have one benefit, and and with that benefit and also a lot of energy to stand against the wind created MySQL. And then MariaDB when Oracle tried to take it over.